Hello Taurus, Taurus Sun, Moon, and Rising. Welcome to your full moon, lunar eclipse, and Cancer reading. We're doing the 6-card oracle spread clarified by the tarot, and I'm using the Enchanted Map Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. Taurus Sun, Moon, and Rising. This will be affecting your 3rd house of communication, the mind, thinking, as well as your immediate environment, including siblings, your social activities, neighbors, as well as early childhood education. So going to look into what messages we have for you. I was definitely led to come on and do this reading for the zodiac. The lunar eclipse with the full moon will be having longer term effects than usual, and we haven't had a full moon in Cancer for a while. I don't think we had one in 2019 at all, so for it to come along with the lunar eclipse being our first full moon of the year, I really feel that it can have a strong impact. I'm not the only one that feel that way. Most astrologers out there will tell you as well. So something new I'm doing with this reading, for those of you who are subscribed and familiar, I'm going to be looking at the bottom of the deck for both of these after we get the messages that are going to come through with this spread and kind of tie it together through this. So that's it for now. Ready to get into your reading. So looking into your recent past, we have Magic Prayer with the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so it's a communication card. There also could be something here with a child. For some of you, there has been this intention. Magic Prayer is having faith that your higher power knows what's best for you in a situation, and being open to that intention of not my will, but your will be done, in a sense here. So some of you may have kind of studied or learned a new kind of way of manifesting through your communication, speaking and communicating in a way that is effective, and putting it into practice, if not being it being a new way. I'm getting kind of a new form of this, and it being with this pentacle energy, something here that shows some signs of promise of improvement in communication. Studying some new way of communicating, or again, just using the power of your voice in manifestation. Some of you, this could be a new communication that has come in. Also something involving maybe an earth sign child. They could have been showing something with a desire for a child and communicating, or a younger sibling. I feel in your in this could be recent past, but also could feel, just because this house does as well cover early childhood education, and how that may have shaped the way you communicate. There could be this sense of discovering some way of reconditioning your approach to communication. Okay, I feel in some way you found your voice in a situation that you felt like you needed it to change, but you may have needed to, may have been above you in a sense. And I feel for some of you, you're learning to kind of trust more in spirit when it comes to even assisting you with finding the right words to say, finding your voice, and communicating effectively. I feel that that's something here. Some of you too, it's a new journey. For some of you, it may even be someone new in your environment, or a new way that you're relating to someone in particular that maybe challenges the way you may be used to communicating. Again, it's different for everyone, but I feel like for some of you, you are finding your voice. We're going to move on, because I feel it ties together with these readings, and sometimes it makes sense with the last position. Well, let's get into where you are now. Okay, so we do have dry desert with Ace of Wands. So dry desert is about adapting, and adapting to a new situation where you're leaving a place of comfort and you're on search for something new. And with the Ace of Wands, there's definitely a new beginning. I feel now for some of you, I'm getting a bit of there being this blockage or removal from distraction for some of you. And something I was also mentioning in all the signs, Taurus Sun, you could be experiencing the changes with this lunar eclipse on the soul level, and the messages that come through may resonate with you on a soul level. Taurus Rising, you may see this manifesting in your physical world, and for Taurus Moon on a more emotional level. Okay, so you're in a place where you're adapting to new situation. Again, newness, more newness, and this more of, I feel with this, whatever you learned in your recent past on how you want to convey your message, how you want to get it across to where it is effective. It's created this new opportunity, but I also get this singular focus that some of you have. And again, I'm picking up the removal of distraction as well too with this energy. So now there's this clean slate, and it may feel like some of you, there may be some communication that has been removed for your benefit, or some new, I feel, arena or area where you have this focus on what's important, focus on what is, and I feel again, it may have been a situation that came from a higher power, something you couldn't do on your own. So here's this new birth, new creation. You're being creative again, with this clean slate where you are kind of searching for your oasis still, and even in your mind, I feel that there's this freedom of thought and as well inspiration that's coming to you, that you're going to be taking advantage of being released from, I would say, mundane communication or mundane thoughts, or things that don't produce anything productive in your communication, even in your thinking. And this is your immediate environment as well. So for some of you, there may have even been a change in environment that's given you this sense that what was once around you is no longer, but you're standing tall. Whatever in the shadows behind you here, you're ready to take steps forward. And you have, I would say, the spiritual strength to go along with this new journey, not really knowing or not having the people around you that you used to at one point in time, or it could even be a specific person. This is also your house of siblings. So I feel like for some of you, this is an opportunity to take advantage of. You can really take advantage of, I feel, gaining more peace and adapting to a new situation. Okay. So I really feel that this is a very inspirational moment for you. Your mind may be, okay, so on one hand, I feel like you are, there's inspiration flowing to you as far as how to make this new space, new opportunity, or a new way of communicating. Now, some of you, I feel like it even may be social media, something here that you were not open to before. Maybe bringing more valuable communication, or a new valuable way for you to communicate your thoughts, your feelings, your expressions. And so maybe some of you as well, it's, if it's new, you may not have a lot of social contacts within that space, or you are just starting out in a new space, seeing how a medium can work for you. And so here you're adapting, you're learning with this, situation here, starting anew. Some of you could have, shut down an old account and opened a new one in the same sphere, but I feel like for many of you, it's maybe trying out a new medium in the form of communication. Especially for those of you who also may be single, and as far as what you would create as your social circle or social sphere in that way is just wide open for you. But it's a new situation that you're going into. You may not be finding what you need yet, but it's still an opportunity that you're grasping. So some of you, it's like maybe a new profile. Could be a new dating profile for some of you, but I feel like you're finding a new avenue to communicate. And for some of you, it may have come as kind of like on an inspiration or a win, or there were signs, so actual signs to like go on this, again, something you just were not thinking of doing before. May have been a suggestion, or there were signs pointing you to it. And there's this sense of you adapting to learning what this new medium can do for you, if it's not just having the space and a little bit more peace of mind to focus on what is important to you, as far as having a new beginning, getting rid of the noise. I feel I'm getting kind of sensing that for some of you, it's been some of that. So what we have for your resistance, there's magic stream with the Tower. I feel like for some of you, you are in a space where you, again, this is an opportunity, you have it, you're there. But you may want to avoid jumping right into a new circle or a new sphere. If you've moved into a new neighborhood, or you have a new place as far as your neighbors go, you may be a bit hesitant to join in the community or your new community space. I feel like some of you, many of you may just have a singular purpose or singular focus that you have, and whatever you removed yourself from or were freed from, or where there has been a new focus, there still may be a little bit of a sense that you still need to feel out a situation before you go dive head first into it. You may not, and if it's you like joining a new medium, social media, it could be that you're not going to post a lot too much. You're going to be in more of an observation mode, but still being inspired and still seeing that this is a new beginning, how you use it. Now for some of you, the Tower and this being a challenge, sudden changes to what you have considered your support system in the past. Magic Stream is about joining in this group or entity or something that there's always this flow, this back and forth of feeding each other. The water, it streams in and feeds it, and it flows, it continues. And there's something to be benefited for all who are a part of it. But some of you are just maybe in resistance of there being just like a sudden change. There may be some things that you, even communication, that's hard to let go of. Some of you may be trying through your communication, stop sudden breakdown of a foundation. Some of you could be wanting to keep or even protect or keep the protection. Protecting as well too could be a younger person with this page showing up in the recent past. I feel like for some of you, within your immediate environments, for some of you, maybe if you have children, it could be getting to a point where there's more peace and focus that you can have on a child, or there's been a change in communication, but there's still this sense of needing to be a part of the partnership, needing to communicate, even if it's a new situation. And for some of you, you've become single with this Ace of Wands, I feel, but single with passion about adapting to the change, being open to it, really leaving a situation behind, whether it was of your doing or something that you had to submit to, again, through a higher power. So some of you, you know, with your siblings, with your neighbors, even I would say with your immediate environment, and being involved in a situation where there was a separation for your peace, there's still this sense of sudden trying to keep it together, keeping it together, irregardless of you needing to adapt to a new situation. There just still may be this sense that you still need to hold it together for the sake of everyone involved. Total breakdown of even communication with siblings or neighbors. But I feel like for some of you, it's like sudden surprises, sudden shocks. Some of you too may be avoiding looking at past connections, or if there are past connections within a medium or social media that you know, some of you could be avoiding being surprised or shocked by what's already has been flowing for someone in their life. This could be a challenge for you as well, to kind of breaking through what somebody's already established. Or, you know, some of you could be wanting a new beginning or a new start within a communication, but there's a sense, I'm getting a sense of an energy where someone is maybe not ready to be interfered, or you may be fearing being an interference, or seeing that maybe someone's flowing. There's this, how do I fit into that? I don't want to upset what someone has already established in what seems like a magic stream for them. That's interesting. So, it's a challenge or resistance there. So we see for the unexpected help, it's protecting treasure with strength. So I feel with this being an unexpected help, knowing your boundaries, knowing your limits, restraining yourself, restraining what would be your animalistic instincts, in order as well to protect a treasure, in a sense. For some of you, maybe your peace of mind, but also for some of you, it could be protecting, again, for the sake of a child. Also for some of you, I'm also kind of getting this strength as being slowly, or, you know, I feel for some of you, boundaries, definitely. Keeping those boundaries that you need to protect not only yourself, but what you value, your thoughts, your ideas, your plans. And again, I was picking up kind of like, if any of you have eliminated a communication in your life, or have been free from what would be considered distractions, continuing to protect yourself from confrontation as well. And if you know, some of you, there's a family member, a sibling, or someone, you know your boundaries, you know your limits with this individual, and keeping that strength, I feel. It's something that will be a focus for you, but also there will be this sense of protection that's around you in a bigger sense, like that higher power. that I spoke of with the magic prayer there. There is still this sense of divine protection that you are maintaining in either a new space that you've come into, or there just being this freedom where you have more focus with your thoughts. And also, if you've come out of a situation where there has been some drama and there's more peace now, not ready to jump back into it, because in some ways, yeah, again, knowing your limits. I feel like some of you would need to be restraining yourself and protecting yourself from jumping into a situation and kind of repeating history. Protecting your feelings, protecting your thoughts. And for some of you, just continuing to maybe just have boundaries as far as who you allow into your thoughts, what you allow into your thoughts, even what you allow yourself to see, especially if it is like a new medium that you're in. Maintaining a focus that you are still adapting. Okay, so what we do have for your advice. Movement with the world. Well, if that doesn't speak travel and expansion, I don't know what else would, but there's this big step where I feel like some of you are outgrowing a space, outgrowing an environment, maybe even outgrowing your siblings in a sense, standing out in a way. But there's this cycle that I feel, enclosure that you need to have, and some of you, it may take a big step. Now, some of you with this challenge and resistance, I feel, and also here, I feel too, it may take strength to communicate. And again, for some of you, I feel like it's been an adjustment. It's been an adjustment in your recent past to the effective way of communicating, accepting those thoughts or rejecting thoughts that would have you repeating patterns or keep you regressive. There's this progressive opportunity that you have to improve in your communication, in your thinking. I also get a sense of like needing to communicate or wanting to communicate with someone, but not wanting to say the wrong thing, not wanting to ruin the opportunity for a new beginning with communication with, if not a person, a group. And so restraining and being protective even with what you say, being careful and really thinking before you respond, taking all the time that you need to let your feelings digest so that when you do communicate, it's from a place that keeps confrontation at a lower level. I feel like some of you are working on that. And so with this advice too, I feel like it's seeking closure in a way that brings opportunity to move on, move forward, whether it's with someone or away from someone. I feel that you're being called to expand and take on new opportunities as well. Now, for some of you, if this is not, you haven't moved into a new space yet, I feel for some of you, you may be having the opportunity right now to adapt and change kind of your immediate environment, because that's what this is covering, your immediate environment. Sometimes your immediate environment really can affect your thinking, your communication, based on what is around and needing to adapt to the way your environment communicates. And every environment can be different. Every family communicates differently. So I feel this is like, take a big step, take a step forward, take a big step forward as far as movements that would, I feel, give you the opportunity to find yourself in a space of more like-mindedness. And this also, I feel, with the web and you maybe overcoming your fear of interfering or feeling like you're outside of, like you would be someone that's a lightning bolt coming out of a blue and interrupting something that seems to be going well for someone. You never know. There could be, you could be welcomed with open arms, again, with the opportunity for new beginning. Again, use your intuition, use your own judgment in what that is. But if that's resonating for you, I feel the advice is that if you take that big step forward towards movement, whether you need to want to open up lines of communication or bring closure to a situation, with the opportunity to step into the now, step into where things are now, then it's there. It's there for you. But you have to make the step forward. I really kind of get it's an energy that's not going to come to you, or you can't bait it to you. Again, your challenge is maybe being the tower in a situation. But I don't, yeah, but it's, I feel for some of you this has been a new opportunity to communicate that came up to a recent past with someone you may have a new beginning with, but the landscape has changed in this person's life. The landscape has changed in your life, and you're now adapting to this newness. But it is, I feel a passionate new beginning. For some of you, it is kind of maybe a relationship. And if it is you opening up your communication and your thinking as it comes to being more social or getting yourself out there again, this is taking that step as far as, you know, creating the profile, putting yourself out there, opening yourself up to the world and what it has to offer you as you have this clean slate and this opportunity to create a clean slate in your immediate environment and what's around you in the form of communication. I feel like for some of you, you may have outgrown a specific environment or communication that, yeah. So what we do have for the outcome, Spark and Six of Cups. So there is this, a sense, and this childlike energy is coming in too. I feel that this, for a number of things, let me try to streamline it into, okay. So for some of you, there's a sense of a reconciliation coming about. If you overcome your fears, as well, learn to control your communication, restraining from, you know, being open to the mind frame of creating a more positive way, line of communication with someone. There's the spark, okay? Ace of Wands can be a fiery spark as well, and you being passionate towards, even for some of you with this newness of being able to kind of create a newness in your immediate environment, who you're communicating with, who your thoughts are filled with, or who, you know, what's even filling your thoughts. That some of you could have a reconnection. This is also a sign that this is maybe this new medium, and you being divinely inspired to join this and see, will learn how this works, learn how people communicate through it, whether it's posting pictures, you know, whatever it is, Instagram, Facebook, you haven't been on it, or I don't know, all the things that are out there. There's so many things out there at this point in time. Twitter's out there, you know, whatever. I mean, I feel that this is going to be leading to a reconciliation. There will be a connection that is made through a medium for some of you, okay? Some of you, I feel that this is, again, this inspiration, not only you having inspiration, but you doing something with this fire in your belly, restoring some peace and harmony in your communication, in your immediate environment. For some of you, this could be returning to a place from your past that you will find, again, some fire that was maybe burnt out in somewhere where you've needed a new start, needed to change, knowing you needed to change. But maybe some of you haven't taken the step to return, but maybe that's something that could be helpful to you. And again, like finding that fire again, even being reminded, some of you, going back home in some ways, um, if you can see it as not a negative now. Okay, I'm getting another message here with this. So, but I'm gonna continue here with this for now. So I feel that there will be some harmony restored here in a communication as well. For some of you, I feel you can overcome the opportunity to protect a relationship if you can restrain your thoughts and avoid confrontation or maintain inner strength as you're protecting yourself. Now, some communications aren't healthy to reconnect with, and there may be some of you restraining yourself and protecting yourself in that sense, or there being a very strong, even higher protection that is keeping you protected. So I feel that this is a good outcome here with whatever this lunar eclipse is bringing you as far as eclipsing out of your life, but also returning to the surface for you to face. It's going to be bringing you to this beautiful place of the spark. That could be resparking a past connection. And you being reminded of a part of yourself that you may have felt that you lost. Now, what I was getting again as I got to the end here with this challenge or resistance. Ugh, don't tell me it left me. No, it's going to come back. I know it is. Looking at this. Okay, travel here. Okay, so for some of you, the challenge or resistance is with this Tower and Magic Stream, that for some of you, in one environment or some place that you may have established yourself, you may feel like you're not ready to totally obliterate that. Maybe you found there's something within a magic stream that is good for you in some ways in some of your environment, but I feel whatever you found, and it could be like in your communication with the magic stream, this is a flowing, this could be employment that you've established yourself in, that feeds you, your income, feeds your sense of stability, gives you the mobility that you need to, or there is, again, if some of you with child involved and there's been some separation or something here, there's still this foundation that you want to keep together. So that's, in that sense, you don't want to totally make drastic moves or drastic decisions that would maybe even change the form of communication or how you even see or communicate with people in your life. But I do feel like this is some new I feel it's almost a solution in the sense of tying it all together for you, that could be made by a big step that you may have been hesitant to make before. Okay, and for some of you, it will kind of maybe indicate travel or closing a distance. Okay, I'm ready to look at underneath the deck, see what else we have for. All right, so we do have rock bottom, the justice. All right, so now something here I feel has come to its end. There is this sense of realizing that there's no going forward in a situation, and I was picking up some of a separation that could be legally binding, or legally, as far as could be divorce, but it also could be something where there's been restraining, but there's something that's like it's nowhere there's nowhere to go but up from here, but there's also alternative routes. Okay, so hitting the end of a situation where there's just nowhere I can go, or limitations too, limitations in your environment, in your immediate environment, where there's a limitation where you may be ready to expand or even reconnect with a part of yourself that was lost. Like for some of you, you could have found your way in a new environment or place, or found your way to kind of go along to get along in an environment or whatever immediate environment you created for yourself in your social sphere. But maybe in some ways you were playing down your intelligence, playing down, or meeting some someone at their level. Now, at some point in time, this may have been an advantage for you. But it may be at this point in time where you're reaching the end where you need a bit more stimulation. You may need more of like-mindedness, being surrounded by that. And I feel like for something here is being balanced out now. That something has ended. There's something here that needs to be set right in your life where you need to create that balance again. Needing to create that balance again. And setting something right in your life that you feel is like you want to make a situation right here. Something that ended, there's still this possibility of making it right. And for some of you, you have a couple of majors that came out here with the Tower, the Strength, the World, and Justice now, as far as kind of overall. So I really feel like for some of you, this is a tinge of there being something legal as far as a higher, the major arcana indicates a divine intervention in ways. So some of you, this it's something with legal that's gone on as far as there being an end. So you could have been separated from a situation, again, try to keep things together, even though for some of you there's a child involved. Here there's children involved, but I feel like there will be this sense of establishing harmony even with children. Even with children, harmony with children, whether you have them, if you don't, again, there's this sense of someone from the past that you're going to reconnect with by taking a step forward, maybe even traveling. And again, and it's maybe even in a divine way that you meet each other if it's not social media, that you come across someone from your past. So could be, again, this connection that has been protected. And you'll realize that there's a strong bond still. This is the, you know, the infinity symbol here. Very strong bond that has not been easily broken throughout years, throughout circumstances, throughout changes. And now some of you are in this place of you're adapting to newness again. But there's a chance for closure. There's a chance for a new opportunity, taking a big step forward, elevating. And I feel just kind of getting yourself out of a space where you may not be, again, what's around you or what has been around you in the recent past. There's been this need of a focus, new focus, less distractions around you. So now you're in a place of kind of filling that with what you feel is more in balance with who you are. You're ready to. There's a new way opening up from whatever is ended. And I also get a sense that there's like a conclusion where, as far as legal, there's what's done is done. And moving on. Now, I do see two paths here. Now, some of you, you're not all going to reconcile with everyone. Maybe picking up a family kind of situation here. There could be you going separate ways, some of you, reaching the end, but it's a sense of also kind of a karmic situation that maybe the other side has to deal with in a sense, so somewhat, and even you in a sense, but setting it right, balancing the old with the new. Some closure is available here. So, and possible spark here, I feel, even with love, finding new love, if it's not someone from your past or someone of harmony. Could be someone from that comes from the same background if it's not someone from your past. If you're not open to that, then that's not you. But for some of you who are, or just need that closure to where you begin to be open and you take a big step forward where you do kind of, some of you do need to kind of close a chapter. The world in that sense is your advice. It's like close a chapter in a major way. See to the end of it, and then make something in your world a lot more balanced than it had been. Okay, so that is your reading, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising. I do hope this was helpful for you. I did want to state too, for those of you who are subscribed and I mentioned that I might come on camera, I am going to keep the readings focused on the cards. I have to. I'm not someone who just wants to talk in front of the camera. I mean, it doesn't mean that messages can't come through, but that's just my way. I have to show you the cards. I have to talk to you in that way. But also, I did decide, though, to join Twitter. And for those of you who may want to, if you're on Twitter and you want to see messages when I am moved to do them, just as this channel led, as well as when there are transits that I feel I'm called to do readings for the zodiac, that's when I will be on the channel. So I'm not following a schedule every month or every, bi-weekly or anything like that. It's more going to be led for when I feel it in tune to come on and do these readings for the zodiac. But for Twitter, same thing. I'll take pictures of the cards, whether I'm using the Oracle, Tarot, or Cartomancy, to just give messages that I feel led to do. And Twitter, of course, it's short and sweet, so but insightful finding. And others too. So if you want to join me there, I'm going to put the handle below, but I really do appreciate your support, and if this helps you, definitely like, share, and subscribe. Just keep in mind the messages are general and they're as well predictive. I do recommend that you check your other signs, and I thank you so much for watching. Take care.